Hello, this is Don Shanahan of EveryMovieHasALesson.com and the Chicago Independent Film Critics Circle. This is the Movie Classroom, an interactive video whiteboard accompanying an audio film review. This week we have War for the Planet of the Apes, a 5-star epic summer blockbuster, and the top film of my best of 2017 so far list, and I have a fantastic review that I hope you enjoy. Here we go. Through the commanding lead presence of Andy Serkis as Caesar, a significant shift occurred when Rise of the Planet of the Apes evolved into Dawn of the Planet of the Apes 3 years ago. The change became a reversal of what side of the conflict garnered your attention and investment in this dystopian science fiction landscape. Our hearts and allegiances swayed from rooting for the madness of our own mankind to the superior traits of humanity exhibited by Caesar and his ape brethren. Think about how challenging that is for a moment. That's like finding a way to root for Sauron and hoping Frodo dies before reaching Mordor. Think about how that was achieved in this trilogy with digital characters emoting through coding and pixels, essentially. Only Disney Pixar has found a way to make us love something that strongly, which really isn't there on screen. A transformation of empathy like that is downright miraculous. War for the Planet of the Apes is a full-bodied epic of glory and pain that matches and then exceeds the moving importance and heart this rebooted franchise has established in 2 previous knockout films. Plot-wise, 2 years have passed since the events of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, where the failed mutiny of Koba in San Francisco severed any threads and chance between human and ape coexistence. Militarization has mobilized the surviving humans to push Caesar and his apes further into seclusion within the northern California wilderness. The tip of the military spear of obsession is a fierce faction of soldiers led by Colonel McCullough, played with straight, cold steel by Woody Harrelson. He controls his own cache of turncoat apes as well, including a lowland gorilla and former Koba sympathizer Red, embodied by Ty Olsson in Performance Capture. When one of McCullough's incursions leads to a tragic loss for Caesar, the tribal leader Chimpanzee sends his broken people away to sojourn for safer and greener pastures, while turning his gaze of revenge towards the colonel. Joining Caesar in hopes of preventing a suicide mission of vengeance are his 2 closest confidants and fellow Genesis originals, Rocket and the sage orangutan Maurice, embodied by Terry Notary and Karen Konoval in Performance Capture. In their trekking through the snowy winter, Caesar's party gains a pair of strays, a mute human girl nicknamed Nova, played by Amaya Miller, and a feeble-minded zoo chimp who calls himself Bad Ape, voiced and interpreted by Steve Zahn. War may be this film's title, but the action quotient is low, should that satiation matter. I promise it won't be, because emotional complexity takes over and hits you like a ton of bricks. War for the Planet of the Apes upholds an immense scope and thickened pace built on methodical undercurrent of powerful, dramatic gravity. Think more Spartacus than Jurassic World in terms of spectacle and depth, especially when the sweeping musical score of Michael Giacchino sounds his presence. This soundtrack may be his best action work to date, flowing between brassy notes that call back to Jerry Goldsmith, ethereal chants, percussive suspense improved from his earlier days on TV's Lost, and a poignant piano motif that peeks through the bleakness of the film. The Oscar winner behind Up, to me, is the next John Williams, and deserves consideration for his 2nd Golden Statue with this sprawling symphony. Returning Dawn of the Planet of the Apes screenwriter Mark Baumbach teamed with director Matt Reeves to plow a path of raised stakes that are as gripping and intense as they are eloquent and heartrending. Unlike other fantasy films bent on spectacle and mindless action, every death or fateful decision matters because of the emphasis and commitment that has been this franchise's foundation. No matter how hard it wants to be, Michael Bay's robots can't come close to something like this. To see Matt Reeves bring his depth to a noirish and detective-centered Batman film in a few years is going to be something special. Mark that prediction down right now. As an entire movie arc, especially if it ends here, go ahead and really, with full confidence, rank these Planet of the Apes prequels among the best movie trilogies of all time. It's that good. Put it up there with Lord of the Rings, Toy Story, the first Star Wars films, The Godfather, and the Nolan Batman films. Among those, really, only the Lord of the Rings and the Toy Story trilogy peaked properly on their final and 3rd chapters. Add War for the Planet of the Apes to that shortlist as the sweeping flourish and overall best of this series. Finally, the indispensable central talent and imperative greatness happening right in front of your eyes and behind the incomparable special effects must be recognized. Since playing Gollum for Peter Jackson, Andy Serkis has taken the potential of performance capture technology and turned it into precision of unparalleled heights. This isn't bells and whistles anymore. What he does on set, through voice, posture, body language, and stunt work, supersede how good the finished topical effects turn out. If he doesn't qualify as a Best Actor Academy Award contender, then it's time to go a step further with a Special Achievement Oscar. This is true performance taken to another level. As I do with all my reviews, I end with life lessons that you can learn from every movie, hence the title of the website. And lesson 1 kind of personifies itself as a callback and a repeat from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, because I feel like it's central to the entire trilogy, and that reads, apes and humans have more similarities than we all realize. Due to the increases in peril and consequences, this is a repeated lesson from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes that is cemented even further in this third film. Both primate species love their families, cling to their homes, and possess tangible feelings and emotions that drive their actions and personalities, whether they're human or chimpanzee. Quote-unquote humanity doesn't have exclusivity to those behaviors in this fictional world anymore, and it really does come to heart centrally and fully in this third film. Lesson number 2 is the level of mercy within leadership. The trait within the burden of leadership that manifests itself in the central conflict and dichotomy of this film is mercy. I think each of the Planet of the Apes films have a trait of leadership throughout the way, and for this film, like I say, it's mercy. Caesar's reverence and respect comes from compassion and nobility towards his apes and towards humans. He is matched against a fractured McCullough who has lost such capacity for tolerance and quarter. Still, he too acts and commands leadership. So whether it's one leader acting through mercy or one leader having no mercy, leadership is what arises from the two of them, and it's fascinating to watch those two go against each other on screen. Lesson number 3, and because this is a tough landscape and you want to call it a post-apocalyptic world, the next level of leadership is the sacrifices. And lesson number 3 reads, the sacrifices required of leaders. Removing the boundaries and lines of battlefields and fortresses, both Caesar and McCullough have taken and accepted painful losses as leaders, and fathers for that matter, to get to this point. Both are haunted yet motivated by those sacrifices to not see those faults repeated. They just go about it in their own little way. Both seek to see their people and their aspirations through the warring opposition and obstacles set between them and an end to their struggles. The key to that goes back to lesson number 2 with mercy. That is my complete and full review of War of the Planet of the Apes. It is an exceptional film. You need to find a way to see it and see it immediately. This is, for me, the best film of the summer. It's the number 1 film I've seen so far this year. That beats Logan. That beats a lot of things. That beats Wonder Woman. I think this is a true gem that I think deserves another look at a higher level than just being a summer film. Thanks very much, and I hope to hear from you guys with some comments and some feedback on where this review went. I hope you guys see the film. If you can and you are willing to, please like, subscribe to my Facebook, my Twitter, this YouTube channel itself, and keep the party going, whether you want to chat that way or find me through social media. Thank you very much.